There's two people dominating Russian news this evening. One is a man who goes under a number of different names, Igor Strelkov, also known as Igor Girkin. I think it's Girkin that he's supposed to be known by. I don't think in Russian Gherkin has quite the same meaning as it has in English, um, which is like a sort of mini cucumber. But frankly, I think that's appropriate. He's a nationalist agitator. And the greatest cockwomble of modern Russia, and he's had his comeuppance and been imprisoned and sentenced by a Moscow city court today, and been sentenced for public calls to carry out extremist activities. So he, among other things, has accused President Putin and the army of not pursuing the Ukraine war effectively enough. In other words, he's a bit like a sort of Wagner brigade. Like, I serve the fatherland, he says, as the sentence is read out and his followers gather outside the court. Some of them are arrested. The accusation's completely absurd, says his wife, um, Reginskaya, and his lawyer, Molokov, says the sentence is an ugly judicial act that should be appealed immediately. But he has been watched, and the problem is that because of the special operation and because of Putin's um, residence inside a fridge next to a bag of Brussels sprouts, cozying up to a tin of peas, frozen peas, like something out of Smedley's. Uh, um, it's very difficult for for a headless Kremlin to know quite who to attack. Should they be attacking the nationalists who want to um, urge Mr. Putin to come out and get tougher? Of course, he can't because he's an icicle. Or are they going to attack people like Boris Nadezhdin, who is allegedly standing against Mr. Putin in the coming presidential election in March on an anti war platform to challenge Putin? Of course, he won't win, but apparently he's got a staggering number of um, signatures to support his candidacy, and it would be very difficult for the Kremlin to silence him unless they want to send him off to prison to the Arctic. And Navalny apparently is back in solitary confinement for some bizarre and unjustifiable transgression. I mean, he is being martyred into potential presidency, and I don't think he is necessarily. The West think of him as their love child, but they are mistaken. Navalny is an impressive man, and he's becoming more impressive the longer he suffers. Um, but he's not a he's not a Western um, supporter in itself. I think I think he probably would stop the war in Ukraine, and I think he probably would enter into discussions with the West. But he's not. I don't think that's likely to be on the cards in any immediate future, even with Mr. Putin dead. The question at the moment, I suppose, is at what point Putin's demise will finally be admitted, and how will it be how will it be staged? I imagine there will be an assassination attempt on one of the doppelgangers, and this will be successful, and that will cause all manner of hell. But in the meantime, uh, this fellow who is a Gherkin, the former officer of the FSB, of the security service, a battlefield commander who helped to annex Crimea in 2014, and to organize his own militia groups who helped to defeat Ukraine in the east of the country. He is now beginning a prison sentence for going too far, and he's already been given an international sentence in absentia by a Dutch court in 2022 for his role in shooting down the Malaysian Airlines flight MH17 over eastern Ukraine in 2014 and killing 298 passengers and crew. He denied that he'd done anything wrong. He claims he's innocent. Well, eventually, karma, karma. In this case, um, something close to the frozen peas. But but there we are. It's the power beyond the grave. The power beyond the grave will not be defeated. Poor Mr. Putin. I'm sure his soul is hovering somewhere in the vicinity of one of the circles of hell. But there we are. I had hoped for more from Mr. Putin. I had hoped for some sort of repentance and some sort of turnaround, but it's gone beyond that point, hasn't it? Brrr, very cold.